Okay, so I got a email question from Julie Santiago about problem number. I'll put the book right here. I think you can maybe see it. Problem number 6.41C on page 230. 6.41C, which is right here. The question is, how many moles of sulfur are in each of the following compounds? Please notice with A and B, the first two compounds only have 1 mole of sulfur in them for every mole of the compound or quantity that's shown. But in C, it's 3 moles of sulfur. So that's a problem. That's a challenge. That's the problem. That's the reason why C is harder than B and A. But what I'd like to do is start out with B and show. I'd like to start out with B, 6.41B, 125 grams of sulfur dioxide. And the question is, how many moles of sulfur are in 125 grams of sulfur dioxide? So what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to put, you know what goes right here, right? It's moles of sulfur, because it's right here. And I don't have any moles of sulfur here in my question, but what I do have is I've got the formula weight of sulfur and the formula weight of sulfur dioxide, right? The formula weight of sulfur is, and I have to look this up because I don't know it, it is right here. It's 32.07 grams per mole. That's 32.07 grams of sulfur per mole of what? Sulfur. Okay? Sulfur dioxide now, this is a review of a previous section. Sulfur dioxide is 32.07, right? Because there's 1 sulfur atom in it. 1 times that, plus 2 times that of oxygen, which I do have that one sort of in my mind because I do that one a lot. It's 16.00. 16.00. Dave? 16.00. Okay, so this makes 32.00, 32.07, which makes this 64.07. Okay, so sulfur dioxide is 64.07 grams of sulfur dioxide per mole of sulfur dioxide. All right. A little bit ugly there, but all right. Now, for this one is I'm doing moles of sulfur dioxide, and I first of all I want the answer in the answer I need moles of sulfur, right? So I've got to do moles of sulfur. That's where I've got it right here. So this is going to be per gram of sulfur. Agreed? Now I've run out of space here. Sorry about that. That's an accident. I'm going to write it again. Moles of sulfur per gram of sulfur, right? But I don't have gram of sulfur in the answer, so I got to cross that off. Now we know from what we did the other night in class, I'm simply just going to write it right there because I know automatically it's got to get crossed off. Okay? Now, what is grams? Oh, that's not going to help me. Not going to help me at all because I don't have grams of sulfur anyplace else here. Okay, so that's a waste. But what I can also, this is moles of sulfur. I have another relationship that's here. It's actually implied right here. And that is moles of sulfur per mole of sulfur dioxide. That's another thing I know. Now it's not written in my key, but I know it from that formula, from that molecular formula right there. Okay? So moles of sulfur is here, moles of sulfur is here. Now, moles of sulfur dioxide has got to go here because it was here. I look in my key, which is all here, and I see, aha, there's my moles of sulfur dioxide. And it's related to what? It's related to grams of sulfur dioxide. Grams of sulfur dioxide, which is perfect. These cross off, and I've got grams of sulfur dioxide here in my question stem. Grams of sulfur dioxide. All right, so those will cross off. Now the final question is, what number goes where? And we did this, a lot of people, I think Julie was doing this correctly, a lot of people were the other night in class. 125 goes up top because it's 125. It's a measurement, so 1 goes down below. This is now a ratio, grams per mole, right? And that's 64.07 per 1. And the final one is 1 to 1. Okay? And so the answer here is 125 divided by 64.07. I need a calculator, David. Can you give me one?
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
My phone is fine.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Sorry for the bad editing on this. I'm trying to save time, so I'm going to leave my family comments in there. You may even hear me tell a child or two that they need to be quiet. Shut up! 1.95. 1.95. Now, the reason, Julie, why you probably got that right without setting it up like this is because it just turns out to be, you see the mass, which is here, right? Can you see that mass? That mass divided by the formula weight, right? And this conversion here is just a 1-to-1. So you can skip that conversion and still get the right number. But the problem is, if you just divide that by that, you're going to find the moles of sulfur dioxide, which is not what the question was asking. Now, again, it's going to be the same number, so you don't realize you got it wrong because but it's because it's a 1-to-1 ratio. But in 6.41c, that does make a difference. It's the difference. Let me get rid of this piece of paper here, and we'll start a new one. 6.41c. And let's do this question again now. So it looks like we're saying here, how many moles of sulfur are in each of the following quantities? 30.1 grams of aluminum sulfide.
Ledger, or Naomi, get down here.
Okay, so it's the mass of the aluminum sulfide. Chance for you to practice your nomenclature, by the way. The mass of that is equal to 30.1 grams, right? But that's of aluminum sulfide, so be careful. Now, let's find the formula weight of aluminum sulfide. All right? And that is 2 times aluminum plus 3 times sulfur. We just looked sulfur up, so I happen to remember it. It's 32.07, but I don't know aluminum. So I'm going to look aluminum up real quickly here. And I see aluminum is right there. It looks like it's 26.98. Okay? 26.98 times 2. 26.98. Enter 2 times. 53.96. 32.07. Enter 3 times, it's 96.21. I'm going to add those two together and get 150.17. If I get something that doesn't make sense, that's a lot of times where I made a mistake. I'll go back and check that again. So it looks like the formula weight of aluminum sulfide is that many grams of aluminum sulfide per mole of aluminum sulfide. Now I realize you might not be putting that all the time. Sometimes we're just saying grams per mole. But that's when we know we're talking about aluminum sulfide. Here, I'm a little bit worried about getting my units incorrect, so I'm going to go ahead and put it out, just to be extra careful. Now, again, the final question, the real question, the ultimate question is, how many moles of sulfur? Okay, so I start here, moles of sulfur, and then I go, where's my moles of sulfur in here? Aha, it's right there. I have 3 moles of sulfur for every 1 mole of the compound. Okay? It's going to be 3 per 1 in the end. I realize that, but at the time I'm not remembering. As I told you in class the other night, I always forget if I'm supposed to multiply or divide, so that's why I have this factor here to help me with my units, okay? Now I look at my question, and I see moles. I need mole in the I should say in my key somewhere. I need moles of aluminum sulfide, and it's right here. It's related to what? Moles of aluminum sulfide. is related to grams of aluminum sulfide. Perfect. Because I have grams of aluminum sulfide right here, right? That's my mass of aluminum sulfide. Grams of aluminum sulfide. Final check, everything crosses off except the units of my answer, and I'm golden. All right, so let's put the numbers in. What's this? This is my measurement, my initial measurement. Over 1. Grams per mole is 1 over 150.17. And then moles, there's 3 moles of sulfur in every 1 mole of this compound. Right? And that's the reason why that's the reason why this problem was more difficult than the others. Okay? So it's 30.1 divided by 150.7, or 0.17, times 3. And this gives us 0.601. Alright? Now there were 3 sig figs in the beginning, 4 sig figs here, 3 divided by 4. This is an exact number, so the full answer has 3 sig figs in it, right? That's got 3, that's got 4. The least of those is 3, so we have 3 sig figs in the answer, 0.601 moles. Alright, I hope that's helpful. Thank you for the question, Julie.